Welcome to Season 3, Episode 10 of Talks with Dorks, your favourite go-to geek podcast, where it's just a bunch of dorks that love to talk nerdy things. And we've got a pretty standard episode this week. We've had a couple of weeks. No. We've had Zordon, we've had Never Say Die. Now we're back to a normal episode. With us on the team tonight, we've got the one and only, the second longest running member of the team now, Mr. Bingus. Tony, how's it going, sunshine?
I'm all good, thanks.
Love the new poster in the background, looking good.
Oh, you seen it?
Yeah. I told you, all it took was to put on a wrestling event for me to get a picture of me on your wall. It's cost me loads of money, but I'm happy to have it up there.
It cost you nothing, I bought them.
Yeah, the rest of the show's cost me quite a bit of money, mate, to be honest. Right, up
There's
next.
a bit of a discrepancy between your posters. I mean, I can't actually see yours, to be fair.
Yeah, there's a slight difference between the two, but anyway, moving on. That brings us to the next man on the team. It's funny enough, the one that shouldn't be able to see the discrepancies between the posters, the man with the least sight on the team. And yep, that's saying something. It's Mr. Laferde. Laferde, how's it going, my son?
It's alright, mate, it's alright. See, actually, I can see better than ever these days, so we'll be having less of that.
We'll be talking about that in a minute when we talk about us playing COD last night. And why not bring someone new into the team? We've not had a new face to join the team in a while, and I felt like we needed to freshen this up a little bit, bring a little bit of a spark to the team. I'm sounding like I'm on the radio because I'm thinking about the radio, because this man, I know through the radio station that I normally work at, he's now part of the Talks with Dorks team. Mr. Kurt Wilson, Wilson. Welcome to the Talks with Dorks team, mate.
It is. I mean, to be fair, I've been, planting not so subtle seeds whenever we've been at the radio to say, get me on the podcast, and the moment has finally come. Although I'm coming for the crown when it comes to least sighted person on the team. I feel like giving you a run for your money on that
let's
one.
not get carried away, you kid.
I said that purposely, because you'll catch up with all of this. Laferde literally can't see anything. He's
Laferde's in the hospital all the time.
he texts us via braille.
I'll give it the big hey Siri, text this to Ryan.
Don't say that. I've got my phone next to me.
Yeah, I'm going to get a load of text messages off you lot just having our conversation. Brilliant. That's what I love to hear. Kurt, you're joining the team. Welcome to the Talks with Dorks team. I thought, we'll bring someone fresh in. I said to the boys, let's bring Kurt in, because Kurt is a bit of a nerd as well. I mean, you can see that already. You've got your Venom hat on. It's a little bit dark in your room, but I can see some wrestling stuff. I can see some Funkos.
This is growing as well. That I've only recently moved into this flat, hence the darkness. And it's a modest collection at the moment. I'm hoping to grow it.
Don't worry, we all start somewhere. Again, like I said, if you go back to last season and look at Laferde's, like you'd think he had nothing. He had all of this, what's in his background, in another room. He's got all of this stuff in the background, but you'd think like he was trying to start a GoFundMe to get a collection the way he was sitting before. He had nothing in his background at all.
Honestly, I was up there with an Oxfam advert.
Tony does a pop-up every single week to do puts his together every single week. Laferde just sat on the end of his bed and pressed record on his phone. But we're happy. Look, that is commitment. You are doing a lot more now, mate. You are literally fully into this. You are causing trouble on the wrestling show scene with your posts, for me anyway. But Tony, I did think about this earlier. There is now, between just the four of us, obviously we've got Ash as well included, but there are now two struggling to admit they've gone bald guys, and two struggling to see guys.
I'm not struggling to see. I shave my head.
Even I can see he's gone bald. Come on.
Yeah,
hold on a minute. Why don't you just turn around a second, Ryan, and take it out?
Because I don't want to. Straight up. I don't.
It's probably a really bad time to mention that the only reason I'm wearing a hat today is because I really need a haircut. I can lend you some if you want, Ryan.
Oh, that's all right.
So, that was nice having Kurt around, wasn't it? It's lovely to have you on board, mate. Now.
We'll make this a reel, not an episode.
Yes, okay, who had 5 minutes?
Me. Funny enough, me. It's the way it always goes. Right, so, Tony, start us off.
Well, what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, boys? What's been going on with you guys? Laferde, you got any news for us?
I love it when Tony gets me going.
Yeah, come on, Laferde. What's been going on this week, mate?
Not a lot this week, however, the next few days is busy. I'm off to see Thunderbolts on Thursday, Liverpool Comic Con at the weekend. So maybe this time round I don't have a lot to say, but next time round I'll have a lot.
And by the time this comes out, which will be the Tuesday after you've been, hopefully the third will have got some
I'm going to have
content.
some great stories, don't you worry.
Okay, stories at least. I'm actually going to Portsmouth Comic Con with Jacob this weekend. You know that one that I set up for us lot as a team to go to, that no one's going to apart from me and Jacob.
You know what we should do, Tony? We should just get one for Yorkshire and then be like, oh, why aren't you coming round?
If you get it for free, I'll come. Straight up. If it don't cost me.
I'm just so jealous of anyone who's gone to a Comic Con. I've been saying for years that I wanted to go, and every single time I put a note in my diary to say, make sure you get the tickets, and then, sure enough, someone turns around to me and goes, oh, do you know Comic Con went live yesterday? And it's
There's one on
sold out.
24th of May in London.
Yeah, is it?
Well,
I lost track of where it is. Is it still down at the...
Olympia.
Yes.
And Excel, that's LFCC's Olympia, right? And Excel
Yeah.
is MCM.
Yeah.
Kurt, this is the thing. Now you're part of the team. We're trying to encourage more. It's the Comic Cons. If you've always wanted to go, now is the perfect time because all you
Wait,
need.
where do you actually live? Like, are you down south with Ryan?
I'm an Essex boy.
That's why he's brought him, Tony, so he's got one of his own.
Yeah.
Because all the people from Essex keep leaving me.
A lot of side-eye emoji there.
And I still love the fact that, Laferde, you will die on your sword that I am a northerner. I am not.
Where do you live?
I live in Sheffield.
You chose to leave the south. That's exactly. You've gone like beyond the wall.
Yeah, I went past the Watford Gap, so yeah, I am officially in the north, but I'm not from here. I am not a northerner. I'm just on an extended stay.
Tony, last season we were on opposite ends. Now we're on the same team, so we adopt you as our own.
Well, thank you for having me.
You don't seem too happy about it, does it?
I'm the same though, but like this, I live down on the south coast. I don't feel like I'm definitely not a south coaster. I feel out of place because I don't know. It's not my way of life. Days. I'm used to like gun smoke and stabbings and stuff. You know, I grew up.
We had a crossbow killer the other week.
You what?
We had a guy. Oh my God! Do you guys not? Oh, you guys will hear it on the news, I suppose, near you. Some guy went out in Headingley, which is near here, and he shot two people with a crossbow. Just because I don't know why, but he just went out, shot two people with a crossbow, somehow shot himself and died today of his own wounds.
And that's what happens when you play Call of Duty and take LSD.
And that's the difference between the north and the south. Like you say, Ryan, guns and knives down there, crossbows up here. Like, why is it medieval?
If you want to complete the hat trick, you can come down to where I am in Southend. We have machete fights over here.
Literally,
that's more comforting to me.
So we're putting on a wrestling show in Basildon.
Safest place.
Yeah.
Come to
we're
Southend.
putting on a wrestling show. Yeah, we're putting on a wrestling show in Basildon. You will be safe. Don't worry, we've got wrestlers to look after you. They are immune to machetes, guns, and crossbows.
But not.
Every single one of them listening to this has just gone, what? We are?
Yeah, wait, what? We're just going to get a text message as soon as this episode comes out going, yeah, about that booking.
AJ Slambino's just revoked his work visa.
He's not coming here to work. He's just on holiday. Right, okay. So that's what's caught up with us. Actually, Kurt, come on, man. I didn't realise you didn't actually tell us what you've been up to or you got any news going on. You're the newest one to the team. What's life with you? Recently married and all that.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you want to catch up on considering I've never been on the show before? So yeah, recently married. I've been married for 7 months now. It's really bad that I've already can't remember my wedding date.
I thought you meant recently married, like yesterday or something.
Well, it feels recent. I did an extended honeymoon, so the whole of December I went away to Australia for the month and loved every single second of it. It was massive things to be ticking off the bucket list. Went to the Steve Irwin Zoo. That was a highlight.
Nice.
Forget how big the crocodile hunter was. Like a whole chunk of the zoo area was just devoted to just merch. And little nerdy 90s kid me that just about remembers the crocodile hunter was loving every second of that, let alone the animals. Yeah. The whole
Wait,
time
how old are
in
you?
Australia- I was born in 1994.
Yeah.
Should I leave now?
No, I'm not the youngest anymore.
Yeah, 30 years old. Just to really hammer this home, I'm as old as the Lion King.
Just enjoy it, being young.
In the last 2 minutes, I've seen Tony get really aroused with his eyebrows. You mentioned the 90s, being a 90s kid, and then you made him sick in his mouth when you said you were born in 1994, and then you mentioned the Lion King, his favourite movie of all time, and Tony's like, I like him. He's in.
I think I'm just about young enough that I can still technically count as a 90s kid. I think anyone younger than me doesn't remotely remember the 90s at all.
I think you're wrong.
Laferde?
I'm 93, so I can't say anything.
Oh yeah, of course you're younger. Oh,
Rough paper round, didn't he?
if only we had a couple of younger people on here, we could ask them, but we don't. Kurt is
you
officially
know
the
him,
youngest member of the team. No, I don't anymore. No. So, reason I wanted to, I had to mention that Kurt's recently been married because me and Kurt, obviously, we've known each other now, 3 years? We've done 3 prides together, haven't we, Basildon Prides? So we can, since the first time we did it 3 years ago, we started joking about calling ourselves the Ant and Dec of Basildon, obviously Ant because of the forehead.
Yeah, they call you Ant, they call me Dec. It sounded like Dec.
Yeah. We've literally done these massive events together. Kurt got married 7 months ago, so the invite
Feels like 7 minutes.
Did you go to the wedding?
No, I don't get invited to anyone's weddings.
I was going to say, you're pretty unpopular for weddings these days.
Yeah, my colleague Ryan, not.
My colleague, right? Yeah, well, now we're a team. You know what I mean? Wow. Okay, it's okay. Don't worry, I'm okay. I don't even get asked to DJ anyone's weddings anymore. I don't get to go to weddings. I'm too busy to go to weddings anyway, so it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
I always said that because I DJ'd for a bit and stopped for many reasons, and when I always think if I was ever DJing like a mate's wedding, I was always happy to do it. I'd do it on mates' rates, so try and give them a good time.
Oh, so you get invited to a mate's wedding? That is crazy.
But I hated DJing like mates' weddings because I wanted to be out there, not stuck behind the desk.
Yeah, DJing for family and friends is the worst experience you can go through for a million different reasons. There's the one, they don't want to pay you what you're worth, and let alone pay you at all. I don't even care because I know my mates, my close group of mates, so-called close group of mates, don't listen to the podcast at all. I'll say I got asked to do my mate's 30th a few years back, right? Didn't get offered a pound, didn't get offered a beer, and know what? At the end, thanked me or helped me take the stuff to my mum's car. This is before I was driving. I was
that tracks.
No one even walked over and went, "Have a beer, right? Thank you for doing this." None of that, not even that. And it was, wow, imagine that. And then I did my mum's 70th, and that was only because it was my mum and stuff like that. I obviously did it for free. I'm not going to charge my mum, so I did my mum's 70th, and ended up in an argument with my brother-in-law. And the funny thing was, I'd left the microphone down facing me and on, and he come behind because I was playing like old music because my mum's 70. I'm playing like Elvis and stuff like that. He's come over like having a go at me for not playing any modern music. I'm like trying to say like, because he's had a couple of beers, I'm like, oh, come on, like chill out, it's my mum's birthday, it's the end of the night, you know what I mean? But where he's had a few drinks, he's now like I'm arguing back to her arguing, and I look round and the whole place.
Right, Tony has a possession in his house. What the hell is going on?
And this is why Tony needs a permanent setup.
That's got to get made into a reel, that. Jesus Christ. Anything behind you we should know about, Kurt?
I don't know. The the all-in turnbuckle pad is very precariously perched. I'm not holding out much hope. Tony, I might be joining you in a minute.
To be fair, I'm not sure of anything on my wall being safe, so
It's not the wall, I think it's Lord Zed's helmet. It's just going to start floating.
that usually does fall quite
Or
easily.
talk.
Yeah, not what we need to do when we edit this podcast is we just need to stitch that laugh at the end of Ryan's story so it sounds amazing.
Oh, we don't edit it, mate. That was it is.
Yeah, it would just be there. It's fine. So yeah, basically, yeah. I look. Obviously, the microphone was down. We're having this bicker and arguing. I look round as we're arguing. Obviously, I was stone cold sober because I was going to work afterwards. I looked round. Everyone in there was just looking at us because obviously the microphone was on. And yeah. Anyway, where's Laferde going now?
This is a professional outfit.
This is like.
My cat was kicking shit out at the door, so I had to let him out.
Tony's shit's falling down. Laferde's getting Amazon deliveries.
The cat's been licking his balls the last half hour. He finally stopped.
Oh, Kurt's sat in the dark because he can't afford his electric bill, obviously. And,
Don't worry, Kurt. We've been nuts.
Right, anyway, let's talk about what's going on, what's new, what's people been watching. Has anyone been watching anything, catching up with anything? Obviously, there's been a little bit of wrestling happening since the last time we did a proper episode. But before we get to that, Tony, you've been subtly dropping hints and trying to talk to us about this Black Mirror. I have
This
never
Black
seen
Mirror.
Which
This Black
just fell
Mirror
off wall, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's going for £20 on eBay.
It was £20.
This TV show, it is a TV show. It's not a movie, is it? Not a movie series.
It's a anthology TV show. So I like the way you say this Black Mirror thing. Like it hasn't been going for like 10 years, and it's not been the biggest show on Channel 4 and then Netflix for a while. Yeah, this thing, Black Mirror.
I know of it only because I listen to Kevin Smith's podcast and they talk about it. Am I right? It's one like it's not every episode is different. Is that what?
Yeah. So anthology series. So it's not like a story arc. Each episode is its own contained story, but there's hints that some episodes are linked within like the same universe. There's plenty of Easter eggs and sort of name drops to other episodes, but yeah, every episode is its own one-off plot. And it's
not like for example, does it start as the episode? It's not like Tales from the Crypt where it would be narrated or introduced or anything like that. It's like it just starts as an episode.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there might be one or two that do start a little bit like that. Not like it's got a presenter or something, but each episode has a very different feel in terms of like how it's directed, how it's filmed, and how it's put together. So I can't say off the top of my head, but there probably is one that is sort of told by a storyteller, just because each episode is so different. So I wouldn't put it past the fact that has happened. And yeah, the whole show, man, you do need to watch it. It is brilliant. So Black Mirror is sort of like a metaphor for your phone, because that's all it is. Once the screen's off, it's a black mirror. And like 9.5 out of 10 episodes are about how technology has shaped us or will shape us, or how it changes our life. And it's quite bleak, because like there's not, I don't think there's a episode with a happy ending.
Okay, so have either of
Desperately
you
going
seen
through my
this?
Rolodex of memory here. No, you're right. There's none. They're all depressing.
So you've seen it, Kurt. Laferde, have you seen it?
Is there sort of like a Bandersnatch? I feel like I've seen something like about that.
Yeah. So Bandersnatch was an episode in the last season that was interactive. So it was like a... do you remember those books where you'd read a couple of pages and it'd be like, you can turn to page 7 to kill the dragon, or turn to page 19 to, run away or whatever. So Bandersnatch...
What are they called, them books? Choose Your Own or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
They had a name because they did like Goosebumps did versions of it as well.
Yeah.
They? And like there were different things but there was like a theme to it. I remember that. Yeah.
There was a Netflix episode where you choose the path for the character, and there was like half a dozen different endings that you could end up on. But that's another thing that's really cool about Black Mirror is there was an episode in this season where there was some scenes about like a Mandela effect. So like this woman would be like, oh, this chicken shop, it was called Bernie's, and everyone was like, no, it's called Bertie's. And it caused a bit of a stir because Netflix put out 2 versions where the woman was right, and then half the people saw the episode where the woman was wrong. So even talking online, you're like, oh, you know, like if you were deep diving into it, like, oh no, it's cool how she thought it was Bernie's, and everyone, like some other people are like, no, it was Bertie's, like we saw it. So yeah, it's really different show. Really, like the way it's set out, the way it's laid out, the way it's written, superbly written by a comedian as well, Charlie Brooker, which is really surprising for a stand. Well, I suppose a lot of comedians are sort of inwardly depressed, so it does kind of make sense that a comedian would write something so bleak.
I've never seen it, but I like the idea of it. But it kind of seems like it, like to me, like you said, that one episode caused an uproar because people were arguing about what they'd seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just fueling the trolls online, and it's just fueling to people to argue online. When we like realistically, we should be trying to knock that on the head and try to stay positive online.
Well, say arguing. I think it's more interesting. And, you know, it doesn't take too long to realise that was the fact. So it's just, you know, you got to give him his flowers for writing 2 very similar but different episodes to put out, and Netflix to say, all right, cool, we're going to distribute 50% to this side of the country and 50% to that side of the country, and yeah, you figure it out. And it wasn't announced like that. It wasn't so, like you're going, Netflix said, oh, this episode, look out for something strange because, you know, we're going to do something different here. Just there was no mention of it. So when it did start unraveling on socials, it was like, have we seen that? Have we seen? And you know, people putting up pictures and videos of their proof, and it's like, oh right, that's wild. So yeah, definitely watch Black Mirror. 10 out of 10 series. Maybe that's a bit of exaggeration. Definitely a good 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I do. When I hear about it, it's one of them ones. But like I said, it's for me to try and watch something new. I generally only watch stuff now, like late at night when I'm done editing, done everything, or I've got home from work. So it's always something I put on to go to sleep to. Like I started watching. I find it's one of them films I've been wanting to watch for ages. You know, The Founder, the Michael Keaton movie about McDonald's. I have seen that clip where he gets to tour around McDonald's a million times, but now I've been watching loads of parts of that movie on TikTok. That this week I went, I'll stop, right? I'm just going to watch the movie, and I've been watching it, but I've been putting it on to go to sleep to, and I'm staying there, like getting really into it. I go, no, I've got to turn this off and put Friends on, because you've seen that a million times. You'll go to sleep to that. But you're saying, you pointed something out then, Tone, that it'd be easy for people to figure out that there are 2 plot lines, it's to do with it. I disagree with that, because people online, I know how fickle they can be. Like the time when I posted the TikTok talking about the Power Rangers anniversary once and always, and someone come up and I said, you know, it's really cool that Walter Emmanuel Jones and Steve Cardenas, so Zach and Rocky, finally get to actually work together. And some guy argued with me, they've worked together before, they've been in episodes before. Like, no dude, they weren't. That was, if you go and watch it, it's very obviously dubbed, and old footage. Zach's haircut changes 3 times in the same episode. It's very badly dubbed. No, you're wrong. I then showed him the clip from the behind the scenes where Walter Emmanuel Jones and Steve Cardenas say, this is really cool, we finally get to work together on Power Rangers, and the guy still argued with me that I was lying.
Well, he ain't got a leg to stand on, has he? Because we spoke to Zordon, has he? So catch the last episode.
You go back to the last normal episode and see that Zordon is now our friend. Like, he follows us. Chris Van Vliet follows us. You know, I mean, it's not John Cena, but Chris Van Vliet does follow us, right?
Hey, in the podcast world, that man is the GOAT, and I will die on that hill.
Do you know what? Like, I've been a fan of his like clips for ages, but I've only just started really diving into it. It's because I really wanted to listen to the Dominic Mysterio one. Because I don't know if you've seen the clip where Chris asks him about his dad, and he basically says it as like Eddie. And he's like, oh, the deadbeat. And it's how deadpan that man says it. And Chris Van Vliet I can only describe it, he giggles like a little girl, like, because he realises what he's done. And you see Dominic sat there and he's just biting his lip. He's doing everything he can not to break. And I love him. I generally love Dominic Mysterio.
I want to do a whole episode, like, studying him.
Yeah.
The man absolutely deserves his flowers. Like, I think it's definitely saying something. Before I go on, now's the time to mention, if anyone here has not seen WrestleMania, somehow like multiple weeks after, Going once, going twice.
We-
Sold. Okay, spoilers out of the way.
We've all seen it. You've seen it, and you're the third. We know the.
Yeah.
This is more for you listening or watching out there. Like if you've not seen it yet, spoilers at this point. But yeah, I think the man deserves his flowers in the fact that, despite being still objectively a heel, the amount of cheers and love that he got when he won at Mania. I heard recently, I literally read this today, that the plan was that he basically won the title and ran backstage and basically sprinted away with it. And when he got halfway up the ramp, Triple H actually basically said, go out there and bask in the crowd for a bit because we can't ignore this reaction.
I see that, and there's a clip as well, a fan clip where you see him go halfway up, and the cameraman taps him and goes and pushes him like that, as if to say, "Go back."
Yeah, because he just had it in the ear from Triple H to say, "Send it back."
Triple H just said, "Go back." I mean, okay, let's go into that side of things. It was going to end this segment with WrestleMania, but obviously WrestleMania's out of the way. Like you said, we've given people enough time to catch up and see what's going on. Overall, boys, what were your thoughts of WrestleMania?
I'll take it first then.
Yeah, that's I have
Everything's
several.
personal, and I was like, hey, hang on.
I think Mania itself. Well, no, go a little bit beforehand. Mania, the build up wasn't as loud and bombastic and out there as it was last year, which by proxy made a lot of people go, "Oh, this is shit this year." Like, it's not bad. It's just you're comparing it to like 40's massive build with The Rock, with him turning heel with a whole like
in a bottle.
Exactly. You're not going to capture that twice. And also, Papa H has said, just like a normal TV show, there's peaks and troughs in TV and in series. That is to make the high points seem higher. So, having every show as bigger and as bad and as amazing as the last one doesn't work. Cool. All in all, I did get that Mania feeling. Mania itself, night one was a bit meh. Night two absolutely smashed it from the first match to the last, and I came away from Mania going, that was a WrestleMania. Like, I'm more than happy that it's a lot better than the worst. It wasn't as great as the best, but you can't do it every year.
Not everything can be 17. Not everything can be 19. Like, you're right, peaks and valleys sometimes, but this definitely wasn't a valley. Like, it wasn't as high as last year, but I'd rate it.
But the last year had so much riding on it because the way it went down, that buzz was created by the fans because of what they were going to try and do. They were trying to sell us something that none of us wanted, and I am the biggest Rock guy going. Like I would love to have seen Rock versus Roman, but that wasn't the time. The year before was more sense if Cody weren't going to win, but this year, last year, like it was like, so you're going to make us wait to SummerSlam for him to finish the story? No, this story needs to finish at WrestleMania, or you're going to make us wait another year. Imagine if they had. We would never have been happy this year if he'd have won. He had to win last year, and that it all made sense. This year, it was. I mean, I generally went into that main event not knowing who was going to walk away the champion. I generally, I kind of like how it went down, but also at the same time, like, I think what we all everyone can agree on, The Rock needed to be there for that match, and he wasn't. And as much as he's saying it made no sense, bringing Travis Scott out, like everybody I've spoke to said that when they heard Travis Scott's music, they thought by the time he got halfway to the ring, The Rock was walking out. But when he got to the ring and it carried on, and then it was like, oh wait. Even I've got literally Jacob's reaction. He's going to the point they're counting, like he starts counting 1, 2, 3. Jacob's like, someone's about to walk out. Someone's going to walk out. No one did, because that's what we were expecting. We were expecting Stone Cold. We were expecting The Undertaker. We were expecting everybody to turn up, because we got that at WrestleMania. Then we got it. No, it wasn't War Games. It was SummerSlam, wasn't it? When he was facing Solo, people were coming out then to interrupt. Yeah. And then even when was it? The Rock walked out just randomly at the end, went like that, and
Bad Blood.
Bad Blood. So you kind of had these sport like these cameos happening. So we're now in the era of it's got to be Mania. You've got to have cameos. It's like Royal Rumble. Because there was a spat of when they were smartly bringing in legends like the Booker T one or the Rey Mysterio one, etc. We're expecting that for WrestleMania now because we got it last year. We've got to move on from that.
Yeah, and if that happens every year, in 3 years' time, that'd be like, oh, of course, yeah, people will change because that's what wrestling fans do online. Oh, here come the granddads. Here they come. They're reeling everyone out. Oh, it's a schmoz fest again. Oh, yeah, of course. No one, as wrestling fans, as a collective, like in the large part's never going to be happy because they bark, give me what I want, but until you give me what I want, it doesn't. Being a wrestling fan doesn't make sense,
I think that's what doing a Batista promo, right?
Exactly.
Give me what I want.
And
give me what I want.
But to touch on what you were saying about, but to touch on what you were saying, Ryan, about The Rock, his stock's gone down quite a bit over the last couple of weeks because of all this, isn't it? And he's his interview with Pat McAfee.
I mean, look, this is something I'm struggling with. Obviously, I'll never have a bad word said about that man, but even I'm struggling because, we've mentioned it more than once. I've been in the wrestling business since 2002, so I know the bits the crowd's not meant to know about. Yes, they all know about it now. Everyone knows what kayfabe means. Everyone knows. Laferde, do you know what kayfabe means?
No idea.
Everyone knows.
Right, but all right. So the hard, obviously, you're not a massive wrestling fan, but you're a wrestling fan, right? You know what a heel and a face is, right?
Yeah.
But kayfabe is like a deep, rooted word. It's meant to be a word that no one understands because you're not meant to. Because it used to basically kayfabe to break it, and I'm spoiling it now. Kayfabe is being in character. So if I'm a wrestler and I've just walked into a room where you three fans are, and the guy I've just faced is stood there, I ain't going to go up to him and start high-fiving him. Do you know what I mean? I'm in character. That's kayfabe as such. But they're now trying to not just... Rock has gone into this interview basically openly saying, look, it's a work, it's this, and he's commenting on things, saying it, and they've got this behind-the-scenes thing. I can't remember what it's called. Unreal. That's going to show you how they put together WrestleMania. There's literally... I've seen a clip where Triple H tells Jey Uso, we're going to strap a rocket to your back. You're going to be the guy, basically. And it's like, oh, that's cool to see, but it's also not cool to see.
Kind of ruins it for you, doesn't it?
Do you know what? I feel like it does, or does it? Really, because
it's fake anyway. But...
Exactly, and
what?
Oh, not the F word, not the F word.
Never say the F word.
I'm gonna use that little bit there as a clip to introduce everybody to you on May 31st. That Laferde used the F word. Mate, you'll learn a very valuable lesson about running a wrestling show.
That's what it be. If we can just have a screen at the wrestling show, like for any entrance videos or anything like that, that'd be awesome. But mainly just so that, we can come on there, we can introduce everything and say, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Never Say Die, and then immediately cut to, it's all fake, isn't it?
Laferde, it's entertainment, right? It's entertainment. It's not fake, because fake implies that things don't hurt. And take it from somebody that has torn ligaments in his knee because of it, and other things and other people.
Ash in here.
Ash, wow. Yeah. Okay, my career wasn't as good as his. Yes, I'm not allowed to talk. We're not allowed to talk about his wrestling career. That he was wrestling Kevin Owens and people like that. But listen, yes. Carry on, Tony. We're not about now we move on from the F word.
Yeah, so I haven't had one of these back and forths for a while. So on LinkedIn of all places, during the week, during last week, a guy, he's a wrestling journalist, and he put up a post, and then some of the people that I follow me started commenting on it. Someone jumped in and was like, "Oh my god, there's grown men who run businesses who watch wrestling, it's all fake, right?" And that usual stuff. And I haven't heard that for a while. And then instead of it being this bickering, it was like everyone was like, yeah, of course we know. No one believes it's real now. Like, no one does. So having a show like Unreal, it's not like it's like it's gonna like break the industry, is it? Everyone knows. It's just whether you want to know that much. You know, I think a lot of us wrestling fans, let's be real, find a lot of interest, especially in WWE, with the real life goings on. So, like, you know, that's why we read certain things and we watch certain podcasts and listen to certain interviews, because we want that little peek. But this isn't a little peek by the looks of it. This is like, yeah, come and sit in the boardroom while we're mapping out a year's worth of story, and it's
You might as well come to the meeting with us.
exactly that. And it's your choice to watch it or not. You don't have to watch it and like have all of that exposed.
That's the problem I've got, because part of me doesn't want to watch it because again I know the feeling of like I've spent a lot of my time trying to keep. Where has he got another delivery? What was it this time?
I can still hear you. It's all right.
Yeah, but it's you getting up on camera and fucking off to the door.
Yeah, you can just edit that so it's on you at that point.
We all stop and wait for you. That's the problem.
I know, it's a fucking cat kicking crap out the door.
There's the angel and the devil on our shoulders, where it's like there's angel and the devil on our shoulders. It's like the professional version of us. Oh, am I back? Hello, am I here?
Yeah. Sorry, you've been back since before you heard me say it.
We're not going to commercials here, Kurt. Come on.
But yeah, like I said, there's the angel and the devil on our shoulders, where when that happens, it's like the professional version of us. It's like, oh, just talk over it and cover for it, and the other side of it is, no, we're absolutely going to call this out.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Is like I said, I came through I've spent a lot of my time trying to. Okay, that was really weird. Laferde, are them two on the same? Because on mine, it's me and you at the bottom, and then at the top. Did you just see them both go for their drink at the same time and pick it up and move it back? Because it literally looked like you got your drink from the same place.
The opposite way around from me.
Oh no! So literally, for me, they met in the middle and their drinks come out. That's how that's getting edited. So
who's the new Scott and Woody? Who?
Stop it! Stop it! Oh, we're meant to be professional, but like
it is professional. It's called professional banter in the workplace.
Yeah, it is. I love them. So, what was I saying about wrestling and beating people up?
The peeling the curtain back.
Peeling the curtain back is, to me, there's only so much. I've always like I just did with Laferde. He said the F word, and like my blood boiled. It's just natural. To me, that's it. So yes, I'm going to watch this thing. I'm going to watch it because I want to know what I want to see this stuff. But at the same time, I feel like I'm cheating myself or cheating like that little bit of. Again, I know what happens, but we're putting together a wrestling show. I know how these things work. As such, maybe not on the scale of WWE. We're only slightly smaller, but but. At the same time, like, that's what I like about, is there are parts of it I don't know, and I don't see that side of it. So, I don't know. But overall, yeah, I thought WrestleMania was alright.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Raw was great. Raw and SmackDown, that TLC match on SmackDown, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
They had a point to prove in that match. Like, they were like, how dare you leave us off the Mania card? Let me show you. Let's put the Dudleys and Edge and Christian and the Hardys to shame with this one. And wasn't on par. They gave it a good try, though. That should have been on the Mania card.
Next to the triple threat main event night one, that's probably my favourite match of the last 2 weeks. That match was so good.
Very weirdly, I have a kind of an opposite opinion of Mania from Tony. Like, Tony said, like, night one was a bit meh for you, and night two was where it. Everything was a banger. Mm-hmm. For me, when it comes to night two, I was a big fan of the Intercontinental match. Like, that was my match of Mania. Loved every part of that.
Yeah.
I was very nonplussed by Cena Cody, truthfully. Like, I was happy with the results.
Oh, yeah.
I think we got where we needed to get, but I was kind of waiting for the third act of the match, which never came. And
we all were.
Yeah. But for night one, I mean, I loved near enough every part of it. The triple threat main event was awesome. I liked even some of the matches that were a little bit more, for want of a better way of putting it, a bit more jank, like the Tiffy Charlotte match, which, a lot of people are saying that there was some no-selling or some sandbagging involved, and here I go using all the insider terms.
Peel the curtain back. Charlotte did not want to be in that match. I can tell you from a business side of that, Charlotte did not want to let that woman win. That was obvious.
Yeah, she was gonna let the ref count free, but she was gonna make Tiffany look as clumsy as possible whilst doing it, and of course takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And when you deliberately deadweight someone so that they can't slam you properly in something that is, without using the F word, it is scripted, it is predetermined, and you're supposed to try and make the overall match look good, not make yourself look good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all that part of it, isn't it? It's like you say, peeling the match back. And people always, whenever people go, "What do you mean it's scripted?" That's the most common question I've been asked over the years when I'm talking to someone about being a wrestler. It's like, well, don't you just want to always win? No, because yes, cool. It sounds great on paper to have all the wins, but in my way of always looking at it is that if you're on a show and you're on a show, there's 8 matches. I mean, that's a lot of matches for a show, or 6 matches. You winning. It doesn't mean you're going to be the match that people remember. It's what they see in that match, how you get to that ending. It's what the story you tell. It's the layout of it that makes them people remember you.
I mean, for example, Shawn Michaels is often lauded as Mr. WrestleMania and one of the greatest of all time. He doesn't have the greatest win rate at WrestleMania, but he always put on one of the best matches, and you remembered him, and often by extension his opponent, because of it. I mean, one of my favourite matches of all time is and always will be Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle at Mania 21. Like, flawless match, if you ask me.
Absolutely. Again, world class, because I mean, again, if you listen to Kurt Angle on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, he talks about how Vince literally threw him into the deep end and how he got him to be so good on the mic. He said, I know the guy could go in and wrestle. It was obvious he was going to be able to be one of the best wrestlers, but to get him that confident on the mic, he used to go up and go, right, this is what you're going to say. You tell him once, and he goes, that's it, go. Throw him in the deep end. I ain't going to repeat it to you. If you don't remember, sink or swim. And he swimmed every single time. Kurt Angle was one of the best characters when you needed him to be. And how he went from that. He was always a phenomenal wrestler in the ring, but the character side in WWE was always kind of comical. There was always a comedy side to him. But then he went over to TNA, and you saw the machine through and through the character, for everything. You saw everything, and he changed it. Not being stuck in one way.
Kurt Angle's also one of those rare wrestlers that actually kind of knew when to retire. Like he said in interviews, like he knew when to call it when he actually noticed that himself was losing a step, and he went, nah, if I'm going out, I want people to remember me, as close to my peak as possible. I don't want them to remember broken down Shell who comes in for a quick pop and that's it, but can't string a halfway decent match together anymore. I know it's my time to go. And that is such a rarity in wrestling. Like, there's always people after one more match. Shawn Michaels used to be the perfect example of it, and even he eventually got thrown enough money to come out for one more, and we don't talk about that Saudi Arabia match.
No, please don't. No, that was yeah, that was
every last bit of my childhood gone in one match.
Literally.
Childhood.
What about you? See, as someone that's not as wrestling orientated as the rest of us, how did you find WrestleMania?
See, I thought night 1 was better than night 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
The triple threat match was the best match of both nights anyway.
Which one?
The triple threat between Rollins, Punk and Roman. It wasn't as good as previous WrestleManias, like we said, but it was still better than like a standard episode of Raw sort of thing.
Yeah, and again, like I said, not every WrestleMania is going to be as huge because they're already thinking of what's going to happen next year, what's going to be going towards next year.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to think of. Sometimes you need that lull one because we've just had 40. 40 was had to be a big one because it's a decade one. You've then got to start. Now you've got to realistically, you kind of want a less big one because you want drop one down after the big one, so then the next one can be
Yeah.
just by proxy, just by doing something different, by just putting a bit more effort in or doing something. Right, that's enough about wrestling. I could sit here because we are already 45 minutes in. I could literally, I mean, we will come back to a little bit about wrestling because we've got to talk about the rest of the show, but I could talk about a million other things that have happened or geeky stuff that I've seen and stuff. I want to talk about Superman at some point, but that can come back. Tony, I believe you've got a quiz, and we haven't done that in a while.
No.
Start setting out, because I now need to get home and get an Amazon delivery, and it's my boredom pen.
Yeah, I definitely forgot to get a pen and paper, so I'll write it on my phone.
Right, so what do you guys really think about Ryan?
Bold.
The third.
I knew he could hear us, don't worry.
You'll be joining. You better learn a bit more about wrestling. Right. Let me just set this pen works. Yeah. I'm good. Right. Tony, do you want to explain the quiz away? Because I've done one of these before. I think the third's done one before, but Kurt 100% has.
So, in honour of Kurt, I've not gone the full shebang that I would usually do for my numbers quizzes. So this one, reason for notepads and pens and boards and pens is just for more shits and giggles. Okay, I need to grab my pen to keep score now. So, it's going to be like a regular quiz. You're going to have a bunch of questions, multiple choice answers, but there is a number attached to each answer. And just for shits and giggles, I just want to find out what your number is for your correct answer.
Okay.
Right.
Go for it.
All right. I'm going to give you 30 seconds after I read the question to have a think.
30 seconds is a long time, I've heard.
We'll do 20 seconds. All right. So question 1. Who has been a champion for longer? This is across all WWE titles, from European to WWE Tag, Hardcore, and all the rest of it.
Cumulative title reigns.
Exactly that.
Oh,
Hang on. So what? One person. So who has had the most titles for the longest period?
Who's had a championship around their waist or shoulder for the longest? And this, as Kurt says, is a cumulative of all titles.
Yeah. So for
How
example,
far
it was
back are we going?
their whole history.
No.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you multiple choice. You're going to tell me who you think it is, and then you're going to tell me for this the amount of days you think they have been a combined champion.
God.
Okay, so your choices are A, Seth Rollins, B, John Cena, C, The Rock, D, Jeff Hardy. 20 seconds. So who's
just to
been...
confirm, so if we're talking about Seth, we're not just talking. So we're talking about his world heavyweight, his universal, all added
of
together
them.
as one. All added
Intercontinental, US, tag team, and any other championship they've held. You've got 3, 2, 1, done.
Okay.
All right, so the third. Who have you picked as your answer?
I've got no idea, so I'm going to go Jeff Hardy.
Okay.
I don't know how long or what it is, but I'm just going with him.
Kurt?
I feel like I've got to remember this, but I feel like it's John, although he's lost it enough times that those reigns could be short. But I think it might be John.
Okay. Ryan?
I can't see him either. John Cena, I'll put Cena.
Okay. Do you want me to go through the answers as we go through the questions, or should we do it at the end?
Yeah, just do it now, it's alright.
Do it.
All right. So, starting from the bottom, we've got The Rock, who has been a champion for 500 days.
I knew it wasn't going to be him.
He's not had that many.
No. Second is Jeff Hardy with just over 800 days. Drum roll. Third place is Rollins
Yeah.
with just over 1,300. John Cena is the longest champion with 1,700 plus days.
Because to me, I'm going through like the United States he had for ages, and he went back to it. Didn't he? Do you remember when he was like mid of all of his reigns and he was letting other people go for the world, he went back for the US title again.
He's
didn't
had more tag title reigns than people often think about as well. I can think of at least 3 or 4 off the top of my head. No
Was that with Cena?
Cena as a tag champion. Yeah.
Yeah, he was with. He was with.
He had one with
Michaels and David Otunga.
David Otunga. He's had. I'm certain there's one more, but I can't think.
I heard
even
it's coming to
Wade
never
have a
say
belt?
die for one.
He is.
Yeah.
I can't see him. Yeah, wasn't there
couldn't
one
anyway.
him and Wade? Didn't him and Wade have one?
No,
No, I think you'd be thinking of Otunga when he's part in and out of Nexus
Nexus.
time. Yeah.
What a time that was.
No, I'm
What a
thinking
time
of
to be
Bray
alive.
Wyatt and Daniel Bryan. Didn't they have a tag team title when they were
They
together?
did.
I'm not sure they
it's
did.
gonna- Oh,
There's
no,
something like that.
No,
Maybe.
no, Wyatt and Bryan were a tag team for a minute, but they never had the titles.
There's something like that where they were a tag team, but they didn't want to be a tag team, sort of, or there was a heel and I don't know. There's something like that. I'm thinking.
Oh, Odd Bedfellows, there's a bunch of them. Yeah.
Oh,
Shall we go with question 2?
Yeah, go for it.
I forgot to ask you your numbers on that last one. Did any of you write down your predicted numbers?
I did have 1600 plus for John, so I was close.
Oh.
But
Very close. All right. So next one is, which console has had the longest active time with games being made for it? So which console has gone the longest time with games being published and being made for it? Okay. The multiple choices are A, Dreamcast, B, Xbox 360 specifically, C, the Mega Drive, or D, PS2. Go. 20 seconds.
I know where I've gone.
Oh,
I know where
I reckon this is going to be a shocker for all 3 of you, I hope.
this could be. But I wrote down an answer before I even heard the options.
Okay.
Is
And
it
this,
the answers that was on there?
And your time is up.
He's gone with Game Boy Color.
Have you
That
guys
was a good shout.
written down any amount of years that you think they've been published for?
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I've got a rough idea.
I think I've got something. I hope
Okay.
I've got something.
So the number of years that we're going to count is official licensed releases. No indie games, no pirate games or anything like that. These are official licensed games, okay? So controversially, the last one, the bottom is
We didn't tell you our
Dreamcast.
answers.
You what?
We haven't even told you our answers.
Okay, tell me your answers then. You're right.
Wait, did we do that last time? I can't remember. Did we tell you the answers first?
Right, go on. We'll go Ryan first this time.
Xbox 360.
Okay.
You might have that immediately, mate. I'm immediately regretting my answer.
Kurt.
Well, because he's just said Dreamcast.
No. I immediately, without even hearing the options, I immediately wrote PS2 and stuck with it. But the second
Okay.
you
I
said-
was stuck between. It was between the two.
second you said 360, I'm pretty sure 360 was like 05 and they stopped making games at like 2018, so I think it had like a 13-year lifespan.
Okay.
Weirdly, I've put 13 years. I've put 13 years on it. I have. That's genuinely.
So, Kurt, what is your final answer?
So I had PS2 and I'm pretty sure that was 2001 to something like 2013 maybe.
Okay. All right, and the third.
Mine were 360, but I'm pretty sure it was 14 years.
Okay. Right,
He's
so
just trying to be different to me.
do you know what? Do you know what?
I'm working off the last FIFA releases that I remember.
So
you
no,
know-
it's not the Dreamcast.
I'm gonna have to say, like, all your numbers are so close as well. So, in last place is Dreamcast with 3 years official games, but unofficially they are still being made on a indie circuit. And then we've got in third place PS2 with 13 years, 2000 to 2013. We have then got in second place Xbox 360 with 14 years, 2005 to 2019, which leaves number one spot for Mega Drive, which is 30 plus years because it's still going. That since its release date in the early 90s, license releases are still being made by a select few publishers.
Who?
I haven't deep dived into that, but
At least
Hey.
it's been out of years, right?
I went with the 360 because I was thinking. I remember I kept my 360 and didn't get the one until there was a game being made for the one that wasn't coming the 360. So I kept it and it was Batman Arkham Knight. So I kept it, and I know that 360 games still continued after that. So that's why I went for it. But now you're saying it, Mega Drive makes the absolute sense.
I do want to deep dive after this and find out what games are being made and by who, and how is that even a possibility? That is madness. So, question number 3: what sells the most per day in the UK?
What sells the most?
Yeah,
Is
so
that current, like, is that current?
yeah. So as of like this year, I guess the figures would be. So we're going to go how many units per day, and your multiple choices are A, Cadbury Dairy Milk, B, McNuggets, and we're going to, for the McNuggets, it's servings, not individual nuggets. Okay. C, Greg's Sausage Rolls, or D, cans of Coca-Cola, not glass bottles, right? The third, it's cans of Coke, full fat red Coke. And your time starts now.
The one that
20...
I thought was going to be on there, I put vapes down.
I thought we were about OnlyFans or something.
I mean, Tony has described basically 90% of my diet there. I think whatever these numbers are, I'm responsible for most of it.
You eat like a king.
No, don't
And that is your time. All right, so we'll go Kurt first on this one.
absolute shot in the dark here. I mean, there's 3 of these on my high street, so I've got to go Greg's.
Okay. So have you got a number in mind for the amount of sausage rolls?
More than 10?
Definitely more than 10. Definitely more than 10.
Not a bad guess.
Okay. The third.
McNuggets. I think it's the McNuggets.
Okay. You got any numbers on that? You got any amount of servings per day for a number out?
Servings. I'm going to say 7,000.
7,000 servings of nuggets a day.
Yeah, why not?
You are lowballing that, sir.
Mate, that is such a low ball. There's like 7,000 nuggets.
No, mate, Kurt said more than 10 a second ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is that.
And I think you'll find that 7,000 is more than 10.
Yeah, yeah. These are all facts. This is such intellects here. And Ryan.
I was going to go sausage roll, but I just want to be different and say cans of Coke.
All right.
Specifically cans. That's what threw me off that.
Cans of Coke.
What's your number?
1 million.
Okay. So, starting from the bottom, we've got a joint last place is Cadbury's Dairy Milk and Greg's Sausage Rolls, which sit at about 1 million a day.
Wow.
There's 1 million sausage rolls going out a day in our country, along with a serving of dairy milk for afters.
This is a Ryan off now between me and you, Laferde.
Now, the second place is McNuggets with 1.5 million servings a day. And little side note, 40% of customers in McDonald's will buy nuggets.
Wow.
Solid number. And then, of course, the winner is Coca-Cola cans with
enough now.
with 2 million units sold per day.
Kurt, you're muted for some reason.
No, I am back.
Oh, right, there you go.
Had to wiggle my mouse to make my computer work again, and it decided to press all the buttons at once.
I literally am so glad I changed mine because I was stuck between McNuggets and sausage roll, but part of me kept saying in my head, cans of Coke, like everywhere. Even Greg's, like, I don't do bottles, but they all do the standard can of Coke.
Mhm.
Everywhere does the standard can of Coke. So yeah, I'm well proud of that one.
Number 4, guys.
Right, I need to wipe this off.
Which of these shows has had the most episodes? And this will include any specials or spin-offs and extensions from the actual show.
Do not talk about the Arrowverse because I'll be well upset because I just never take that. Just take forever.
Oh, so we're not going into like universes. It's just like if there's a show and it has like a one-off special, a one-off feature length and stuff like that. It's not going off into universes.
Not like prequels and stuff like that.
Yeah, none of that.
Not spin-off,
Right,
entire spin-off shows. So like Friends would count, but Joey doesn't.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Joey never counts.
No,
We don't talk
Joey
about
didn't exist. Yeah.
Very cat count.
So the options are A, Power Rangers Zeo.
Oh,
Not Mighty Morphin, not Turbo, just Power Rangers Zeo.
Well, that one's not winning.
Kurt, we will educate you about Zeo at some other point, young'un. B,
I watched Zeo.
Yeah, when you at the same time you're watching Playdays, it doesn't count.
They
B,
did
only
reruns.
B, Only Fools and Horses. Oh wow,
I already
He
had
went
it.
s-
I put that down. I was like, I know because you said about specials and that. I knew that was coming up.
so A, Power Rangers Zeo, B, Only Fools and Horses, C, Breaking Bad, D, Sex in the City. Go.
Feel like we need a little edit of the countdown thing on this, the clock.
Yeah, Ryan doesn't like doing that.
Okay.
Just for sanity, Tony. When you say longest running, were we talking years or episodes?
Oh, not longest running, most episodes.
Most
Most
episodes,
episodes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
for him,
classic.
2,
I know.
1, you're done. Everyone got it locked in? All right, Ryan, we'll start with you.
Right. I hate to say it because you put that one in there, but Sex in the City.
Oh, you changed your answer?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, you got a episode count for that?
Does that include movies?
No, it doesn't include actual movies, no. Not cinematic release.
I'm going to say 250 episodes.
Whoa. Bold.
So
All right,
it should be.
Kurt.
I did the exact same as Ryan. I had Only Fools written down until the last, and I scribbled it out and changed it for Sex and the City.
Okay.
Weirdly, I wrote 240 episodes.
Wow. And Laferde.
Well, it's not a Zero, because I had about 40 episodes or something like that, so it's definitely not that. I would say Sex and the City, but I do not know about episodes, so I'm going to say 300.
All right. So, it goes like this. In last place is Power Rangers Zeo with 50 episodes. In third place is Breaking Bad with 62 episodes.
Yeah, I knew that.
In second place is Only Fools with 64, including its Christmas specials and feature lengths. And first place is Sex and the City with 94 episodes.
Oh, is that
So we were close.
You're so close.
Do you know what made me think that was the one? Because that was standard TV. They were 24 episodes. I assumed there'd be 24 episodes per season. So I was like, I've just got to have had 10 seasons easy.
Yeah.
Surely. I've never watched it, but I thought 24. Whereas I know Only Fools and Horses.
It's
they
British.
Never had
Only
more
had
than
about
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, per season.
So yeah, they did have 6 per season on the most part, yeah.
Yeah, I was on the literal exact same logic as Ryan on that one. Yeah, Sex and the City must have had 20 per. I swear it had done 10 years.
It might have done 10 years, but there might have been massive gaps in between. Like, not that I'm a massive fan or anything, but its new spin-off show, just like that, it's gone like 3 years between seasons, and I can wait until season 2. I'm not excited. Can't. All right, so question 5: what is taller? Alexa, off. What the fuck? So, what's taller? And we're measuring these in meters. Okay.
Right.
First choice is 2,000 Kit Kat Chunkies end to end, lengthways. 3 Statue of Liberties. 2,500 Nokia 3310s or 350 Shaquille O'Neals. Your time starts now. So 2,000 Kit Kats end to end, 3 Statue of Liberties, 2,500 3310s or 350 Shaqs. And yeah, write down your meter measurement and see what you think. And you got 2, 1, you're done. Answers locked in.
Sorry, go on. Yeah.
All right, Laferde.
I'm going to go with Nokia's.
You're going for the 2,500 Nokias.
Yeah.
Got a meter in mind?
Nope.
Kurt.
I had Nokia's. I switched to Shaq because I feel like a Nokia's only about maximum 10 centimeters long, and you need a lot of those to make one Shaq.
That is true.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Shaq's easily pushing, if not over 2 meters. So like 350 worth of him. Yeah, surely.
So how many meters are you saying it is 300? Well, you're saying he's about 2 meters, so you're going to go what 700 for him?
Yeah, I wrote 700. So I reckon it might be close to like 680, 720, but yeah, let's call it 700.
Okay, and right.
I've gone with the Kit Kats, 2,000 Kit Kats.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say 600 meters. I don't know.
Okay. So in last place is 1,200 Kit Kats, measuring at 126 meters.
126? Oh, really? Is that it?
Yeah. So they're about 11 centimeters in length.
Shocking performance from the Kit Kats.
It's shocking, absolutely shocking. But you'll be happy to know shrinkflation hasn't affected the length, it's only affected the girth of the Kit Kat Chunky.
Somehow I'm not glad to know that.
I can sleep easy tonight.
Third place is, I find this hard to believe, is 3 Statue of Liberties, 279 metres. In second place, you've got 2,500 3310s at 282 metres, which means the tallest is 350 Shaqs at 756 metres.
So if I'd have gone with Shaq, my number was almost right. Okay.
All right, Ryan, I feel like this is one for you, bud.
How many more of these we got?
We got 3 more.
Okay.
Who has had the most UK single chart entries? So not necessarily number ones. And do you know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't know where this counts, whether it's top 40 or top 100 or whatever. But yeah, it's official chart entries. A, the Spice Girls. B, Elvis. C, Michael Jackson. D, Ed Sheeran. Your time starts now. Spice Girls, Elvis, MJ, or Sheeran? Who's had the most UK single chart entries?
Do you want a funny story about Spice Girls while we're thinking our answer?
Fine.
So Neve was singing the song Wannabe, yeah? On the karaoke.
Time, by the way. Go on.
And it says obviously slam your body down and wind it all around. She said slam your body down and wind it all around.
It's the same word. English doesn't make sense. I can't blame her, but she should know the lyrics to such an anthem.
Kill me for telling you guys that. And I can't wait to tell.
All right, guys. We'll go with the third first on this one.
Elvis.
You got a number in mind?
No.
For shits and gigs?
We'll go with 17.
17, okay. Ryan? You got an MJ?
MJ. And that was hard. Very hard between them two.
You got a number in mind?
I'm going to put 100.
Okay.
Because I'm going for his whole life.
It does include Jackson 5, this title as well. And Kurt?
No prizes for guessing what the correct answer is then. So I went proper nerd with this. I've got Elvis because I'm 99% certain I remember it being a question they had to answer on a 2005 episode of Doctor Who.
Oh, wow. All right. So, in last place is Spice Girls. They've got less than 20.
Sorry,
I knew that was less.
In third place, currently, is Ed Sheeran with just over 50. But, of course, that could end up changing because in second place is Michael Jackson with 60. So Ed Sheeran could take him, which leaves Elvis with over 130 UK single chart entries. Many of which are reheated remixes and re-releases and what have you. All right.
I did think about that. I was like thinking to myself, it's going to be Elvis. If it's not, it's between the two because Elvis. I said they've released a version of "Are You Lonesome Tonight" that was like just him laughing through it, and it got to like number 2 in the charts because
what
something. Yes, the famous "Are You Lonesome Tonight." There's different reasons of why it happened, but there's a bit in the song where he says, "Do you gaze at your doorstep and picture me there?" But in this version, he says, "Do you gaze at your bald head and wish you had hair?"
Oh.
He then loses
Well,
it, but there's different reasons. Supposedly, there was a man in the front row that had a wig on and whipped it off and started whipping it around. There's a reason that he couldn't stop laughing. There's also the woman harmonising in the background doing that doesn't stop, so he can't control because he's gone and she's just still going for it in time. Everything. There's different reasons, but yeah, that got to number 2 in the charts in the UK.
I've double checked, by the way. I was right. It's a 2006 episode of Doctor Who. 42. They have to basically get through a number of locked doors to get to the ship's controls, and they're all locked by basically trivia questions. And one of them is, who had the most number 1 singles? It was Elvis Presley or the Beatles.
It's coming useful,
Beast, isn't it? Is that
no, it's the season after the Beast. It's the one. It's called 42. It's the one where they basically they land on a spaceship that's crashing into the sun, and the sun basically possesses people. Trying to explain an episode of Doctor Who, you realise how balmy it actually is sometimes. But
right, let's we'll rattle through the last 2. Number 8. What holds more volume in litres? So your choices are a Ford Focus, 9 UK residential dustbins, 4 old school red telephone boxes, or D, Ryan's ass.
If I win this, I swear to God.
Your time starts now. So what holds the most in litres? A Ford Focus, 9 UK residential dustbins, 4 red telephone boxes, or Ryan's crevasse?
Ryan, can you stand up for a minute, mate?
We do call him Planet of the Gapes.
Changing my answer.
Your time is up. Ryan, we'll go with you first.
I'll put the bins.
Yeah?
150 litres.
Kurt?
I've also gone bins. I had no idea on a number, though.
The third.
Bins, I'm going to say 600 litres.
All right. So, officially, in 4th place, and this is being very generous, is Ryan's ass at 28.3 litres. You're in last place.
I know, but like, okay.
In 3rd place is 9 UK residential dustbins with 2,160 litres. By the way, a little fact: if you look on your lid, there is a literage number on top of your bins, and they are normally 360 for a UK dustbin. I used to be a bin man, so I know these things. It's cool, isn't it?
Oh yeah. One day, Kurt, you'll hear about a story of when he was bored once doing the bins in Dagenham, by all accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to me talking rubbish.
Hey.
I was going to make that joke just now, but then I realised it was better to tell the story about when Tony was having a wank doing the bin round.
Back when he could.
I still can, man. They're empty. They still work, but they're just empty.
And not buy bins anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean there's that as well. Yeah. So 2 in second place is a Ford Focus with 3,000 litres interior plus the boot, and the most literage is in 4 red telephone boxes, 8,640 litres.
Do you know what? I was thinking that was a trick question because I thought you was going to say if I'd have said the phone boxes, I thought you were going to say no because it wouldn't be able to hold the water; it'd just all go out.
The door would open.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, no, I'm
because
not
the
falling
Ford
for that one.
Focus is watertight.
Well, rain doesn't get in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
but if you fill any car with liquid, it's going to go flying out through the vents into exhaust and stuff. It's never going to hold.
This is why I can't win the lottery, because I would just be more than happy to test this stuff. All right, so lastly, and I'm ending this on a number 9. We're not even doing number 8 or number 10. We're finishing on number 9 tonight. What has the most teeth? A sperm whale, a white rhino, a silverback gorilla, or a slug? Time starts now. So, yeah, sperm whale, white rhino, silverback gorilla, or a slug? And I definitely want to hear numbers from you guys on this one. And your time is 2, 1, and you're done. Let's go, Kurt.
I feel like this. Every instinct in me wanted to say no, surely not. But I feel like it's a trick question, so I've gone with slug.
Okay.
And I feel like it's something like 200.
Okay.
That was exactly my answer.
That's
Ryan.
exactly my answer.
So have you all
Slug
gone
200.
slug 200, yeah? All right, cool.
Can't
Quick and
be.
easy then. All right, so let me see this. Right, so there's going to be a little bit of like grey area here. So in definite last place, I'm going to put White Rhino, who has 24 to 34 teeth, depending on male, female, and size. B is a silverback gorilla, 32, much similar to ourselves. Sperm whale, 50 to 60 teeth, again depending on male, female, and size. Slug is number 1 spot with 27,000 microscopic teeth, which is what it uses to crawl on.
That's really weird.
Crawl
I
on
wrote
it.
27,000.
All right, so let me total this up, guys.
Right. I'm glad this game's coming to an end because, boys, there's something now it's coming to an end. We really need to have a chat about something.
Right, let me do
normal.
winners. Let's do the winners first. Laferde, you are third. By name and by by name and by virtue, you had 3 correct answers. Ryan, you are second with 4 correct answers. Kurt, you got 5. 5 out of 8. Welcome to the team.
We tell him we let the new kid win.
Yeah, I was straight up like that was definitely a fix. Like we let you win, Kurt. We didn't want you to come in and lose on your first one. Like obviously,
Yeah, we wanted you to come back.
him.
That's right, guys.
I mean,
Next time
yeah.
I'll play without Google.
Like, there's my phone. So yeah, thanks for that time, Kurt. Hope you enjoyed that. We don't do the quizzes that often, but when we do, they're always a little bit of fun. A nice way of getting to have a bit of banter and fun. But I'm not gonna lie, boys. I've been stewing on something. Obviously, we've mentioned that we're doing this wrestling show on today's episode. Talk to Dorks presents Never Say Die. Me and Tony are representing the posters. So obviously, we know this is happening May 31st, Basildon Sport and Leisure Club. Kurt, you were already involved in that before you even joined the team. You are our announcer. You're now officially part of the exec team, by the way. So welcome to that side of things.
No pay rise.
Yeah, the pay stays the same. It's
You
the
guys get
same-
paid less.
Yeah, you're on the same wage packet as you are at Gateway. You get the same as what I get from Gateway, all right? So this is happening. We've technically got 3 out of what could be 5 or 6 matches pretty much set. Mia Cortez versus Dominica is obviously happening. The girls are going to be coming on hopefully next week to talk about the match, why they wanted this match to happen, etc. We've also got the Strong Dads versus the Kings of the Ring. RJ Singh and Sunset Skip versus Sullivan King and Richie, which I'm not going to lie, very intrigued about, because there is some. That one's definitely, someone's going to learn a lesson. I think
the trash talk's been real.
The trash talk has been real. The Kings of the Ring are, basically saying that the Strong Dads are past it. I strongly disagree. Tony, you were there. You didn't. I kind of went heated on that quite a bit. So I don't know. Are you siding with the Strong Dads on that, or the Kings of the Ring? What do you reckon? Do you reckon the New Bloods got it?
See, I like I said on the episode, I've been a fan of RJ for a long, long time. Actually gotten to know him somewhat over the last few years as well. So like, I would feel rotten to not root for him. But then also, there's a bit of me as a bald dad that says, yeah, like sometimes like. It's something I strongly believe in, and that is everyone needs a hiding at some point in their life, just to make sure that they're leveled and know they're not invincible. And yeah, maybe the young lads get their hiding.
Okay. Boys, obviously, I'm assuming you know what we're talking about here. Obviously, me and Tony were there for this. We saw how he got heated. Obviously, I've had the conversation with RJ, which is now available on our YouTube channel if you haven't seen it. So I know his thoughts on it. We didn't actually talk a lot about that, and I'll get to that reasoning in a second. But we've got two young lads who are up and coming, Richie and Sullivan King, the Kings of the Ring. Their attitude towards this is that the Strong Dads are past it. It's maybe time to move on, and they're just going to put an end to it. The Strong Dads, RJ literally said he's heard this so many times, and that's why I think I got heated about it, is that they've heard this, they've been around a long time, and they are literally part of the reason these guys have a career in British wrestling, because they were there at the beginning of the British uprising of British wrestling. What do you reckon? Do you reckon this is let's go to Laferde, as someone that doesn't, isn't the strongest wrestling of the group, a wrestling fan of the group. What would you say? Do you reckon this is a chance for the young lads to prove their point, or do you reckon old dogs, new tricks, etc., and the older crowd are going to take this one?
So I've got to weigh up between young people or bald dads.
Cool, I know what you're thinking. No more need to be said.
I think the bald dads would have it just because there's two of them.
There's two. It's a tag team match, Laferde. There's two.
I know, this is where my logic's going with this, right?
See what we're saying about the site thing, Kurt? He doesn't realise there was
I
four
reckon,
people
right,
in this
just
match.
hear me out on this one. If it were one-on-ones, one young guy versus one bald guy, the young guys would take him, but I think the bald dads have got bald powers. And they're going to use dad skills and win.
Come together and make like a mega bald.
Oh my god, a mega bald.
We need mega ball power now. Obviously.
Wait, you two are going to run out when they do that, huh?
I was literally going to say we're the arms and legs tone, obviously, of this mega ball Zord. Jesus. Okay, so Kurt, what about you? I don't know your knowledge of British wrestling, if you know much about RJ and Skip and their careers, etc. But from what you've seen,
look, there's a reason why, there's a reason why they've been on TNA. There's a reason why they've got that. They've had that global attention at points in their career. They are that good, and I take nothing away from the Kings of the Ring, but I want to quote RJ from that interview that you did with him, Ryan. He's been in the game for 20 plus years. He's had young lions come and go, flash in the pan all the time, and he's still here. And there is a reason for that.
And even jokes aside, being told he's tried retiring a couple of times, and he always comes back because there is a need for RJ Singh and obviously Skip. I trained with him. I was there at the beginning. So that's that part of it. RJ came on the episode unbeknownst to me and actually had another reason he wanted to have a chat with me. Didn't realise that we were going to get double the work out of RJ, because RJ was approached by Pro Wrestling East and was told, because they are on a hiatus at the moment and he is their current Pro Wrestling East men's champion, that he can defend that title elsewhere, and he wanted to use this opportunity to defend it at Never Say Die to help us make this show even bigger. So not only is he going to be in the tag match, and I have, by the way, guys, I'm sorry to say this, I've decided that will be the opening match because I think it's going to be a phenomenal match to start off with. He also later in the show wants to come out and defend in an open challenge his Pro Wrestling East men's title, which, you know, I've got some ideas myself, but he did mention the words and did say, what if he could lure me out of retirement? And this is something I hadn't considered. To me, I am not a wrestler anymore. It's been 7 years since I laced up the boots. And back then, when I laced up the boots, the last time I did it 7 years ago, that was one match. That was me doing a heel turn. I was a bad guy. I literally just stripped it down. I was by my own name. I wasn't Super Relic that I'd gone throughout from my old career being called. I was just Ryan. I came out with Bad to the Bone as my music. I was a standard bad guy. I went out there, beat a kid up. Not an actual child, but a youngster.
Disclaimer.
You there in the audience.
Yeah, you
No children
7-year-old.
will hurt during this.
Yeah, I beat a youngster up. You know, we were going to have 3 matches, but he got too scared, never come back. So it's been 7 years since I've wrestled. It's been 12 years since I've been called Super Relic. But this is Basel, and this is where I'm home at, and this is where, you know, for me, was the biggest noises of my career. Hearing my name being chanted was in Basildon. Do I consider stepping out of retirement for one last go, a chance to become a champion, or do we give this to somebody else? Let's hear your opinions, boys. What do you think? I need a little bit of advice on this because I'm playing with the idea. Tony, you look serious. Give me an answer.
Tony's in business mode right now.
Business mode and friend mode. Business mode and friend mode. So, mate, that's an opportunity. That is definitely an opportunity. One that I'd find it hard not to snap up. But then, despite what I've just said about the strong dads and the young lads, Kings of the Rings, about what they said, there's a point in there that they did make of saying, you know, yeah, they went a bit bastard about it, but, you know, like they're talking about 2 guys who are active. You know, month in, month out, they are running ropes, they are making towns, and they're grafting. You've just said it yourself. It's been a long time. You know, like, are you gonna be okay with saying, yeah, I'll give this one last shot, and then like you blow out your knee again, you bang out your shoulder, you bust your neck. You know, are you? You know, is that something you're going to be all right with? And, you know, again, friend mode, being real, you know, you bugger up your knee, you're not working. You know, and I don't mean like working wrestling. You're not standing at a booth all night DJing. You're not going to be on the floor amping up the party, are you? You're going to be out of work. You're going to... There's a lot of other people we could talk to and see if they want the opportunity and chance. And mate, I know Basildon, I know it's your stomping grounds and all the rest of it, but this is coming from dad to dad, friend to friend. Just, you know, think about it, man. Think about it. Don't rush into this.
The injury part of it, not doing it for a long time, is a big factor. And then it's also, you know, there's a draw to want to come back and just do one. Of course there is, but like you say, I'm not even early 30s anymore. I'm late 30s now. I'm at the moment, as this comes out, I'm a week away from when this comes out, it'll be like 2 days before my birthday. I'm going to be 39 like a couple of days after this, so like, yeah, there's that factor. Yeah, get your pension in, thank you. So Laferde, I'm assuming you're going to say don't do it.
No, I'm going to say the complete opposite.
Okay.
Wise guy once said, fuck Tony.
Is that wise guy in the room?
No,
Nope.
he's not. Well, he might be. He was pretty small when he said it, wasn't
Yeah, he pretty well.
he? No, not really, fuck Tony. We're still friends, don't worry. But the reality is, right, if it was you, said Tony, that got asked, would you want to do it?
Like I said, mate, like I've never had that sort of opportunity to like step into an industry that I love, and like, you know, like I think I'll be real. I think a lot of other people have had this sort of Scrubs moment. You hear a track, you hear like a wrestling entrance theme while you're bopping around with it in your headphones, and your brain goes there. You're standing on the middle rope, you're holding a title aloft. You've got people booing or cheering your name, the lights, the pyro, all that. I'd love to have even a sliver of that feeling, but I am a dad. I've got work to think about because I provide for my family. My knees click when I stand up. Like, is this something I want to be doing? Yes. Is it something I need to be doing? No.
Okay.
I mean, the one thing I'm not stressed about is what I like about this is that we're not going into this. If it is me and RJ, there's no. We're both. You know, I'd like to see. I'm selling it now that I'm back to being the good guy, Ryan. You know what I mean? We're not going in this with anger against each other. It is a pure wrestling match. It's not going into this like I've got to hurt him. I've got to this. It's who can out wrestle each other. It's that. You know, it's two friends going at it. It's two good guys as such going at it. So that's what's kind of selling to me. It's like, okay, at least I've not got to worry that there's going to be dirty tactics or stuff like this. There's something that's going to purposely injure me so I can't work, etc. Touch wood. I trust RJ. I've known him a long time. Kurt, what about you? What do you think?
I mean, I'm immediately inclined to agree with Tony. However, it's been 7 years for you. You know, you said you're not in your early 30s anymore. Edge did 9 years. He was 46 when he came back.
Being compared to Edge, okay, this is selling it to me. Carry on.
Hey,
You wish you had Edge's hair.
The super relic or the rated R superstar, I don't mind which, but it's doable. Nothing would make me happier than, as the announcer, to be able to say, here is your winner and new Pro Wrestling East men's champion, the super
Laferde.
relic. If that's you volunteering, mate, go for it.
This is the bit. This is the bit, man. This is it. Like you say, like that's. I'm not even factoring that part of it. It's to have a match with RJ, someone I've never been able to wrestle, someone I've seen, someone I've looked up to throughout my entire career.
Yeah,
have that match with him, but the chance of winning and taking a new title.
That Intercontinental Championship behind you looks really lonely, mate. I mean,
that technically has also been called the Essex Championship, because when I was the Essex champion, that was the only belt I had to use. And again, you know, not to kill the business or anything like that, but I used to book them shows. So this one doesn't, like, this one is, I'm not booking this for me to win this match. This is a wrestling match. This is a pure wrestling match. There is no plan to who this is. Whoever comes out on top. This is the DDT versus my finishing move, which by the way is called the Artifact because I was a relic and I'm not as well known as the rest. It's basically a cradled, like I pick them up into a cradle, spin it into a rock bottom because I love the rock. So it's the DDT versus that. So whoever gets that move out first, it's a pin. It's not a plan to this. It's whether I do it. And like I say, there's that part. Like, it's been 12 years since I've heard my music. Again, I don't know if you know it. So I've got my music is Boom 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 by the Out Here Brothers. Boom Boom Boom. Let me hear you say well, with my own intro made by them because I was a friend of one of theirs. It says my name and he says at the beginning, get your ass out of your seats and say super relic super. So to hear that and the crowd hopefully get behind it because someone remembers it, to hear that again. But not only that, it's these little people up in bed, they've never seen that. My kids have never seen me lace up the boots, and if I don't take this opportunity, will they ever get to see it? That's something else I'm thinking about.
And at the risk of playing devil's advocate, as much as I am on board with you doing this, like honestly, every part of me saying go for it. Coming back to Tony's side of it though, if nothing else, lads, think of the views the Ryan In Memoriam podcast would get.
Right, so basically we'll stop this here and I'll think about this because Tony's getting twitchy because it's getting really late. We'll stop this here. I'll have a think about it, and while I'm thinking about it, I'll also write up my will, testament, and my successor, who's going to take over from me in this job role. On that note, don't forget, your tickets for Never Say Die are going to sell out fast. You haven't already? Get to the link downstairs below here. Get to the link in our bio and all of our social medias. Buy your tickets now. May 31st, Basildon Sports and Leisure Club. Talks with Dorks presents Never Say Die. Also, don't forget, if you want to get your cards graded, we have a little promotion for you. treefroggrading.com. Use the code TWD15 and you will get 15% off on your card grading. My name's Ryan. That's Tony. That's Kurt, the newest member of our team. That's Laferde. Boys, go around, give your socials quick. Tony, start with you because you've got the most socials out there, I think.
Tony of Bingus, the 90s, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. That is me. See you later, you yogurt chewers. See you at Basildon and bring flowers because I have a feeling we're going to... yeah.
Laferde.
Mine's just the real Laferde on Instagram, and I'll get the hearse booked.
Kurt.
Insta and X, I'm at that Kurt Wilson, and I'll get the speech written.
I'm at the DJ Ryan S.
And I'm dying.
Soon will be the artist formerly known as DJ Ryan S. And I'm going to write my will and testament, like I said. And listen, if I don't do it, we've got to look at our budget and think of who could we bring in, or who is going to accept, who's going to message us now this challenge is out there and say, I'll do it. Let's find out.
I reckon I know someone who could cause a bit of havoc.
See you later.